Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader. It's Wednesday, March the 14th. These are the charts of the day. Well, interesting day today. I've rarely seen a day with such negative technicals, with the market actually closing mixed to higher. It was up at one point with still negative technicals all day. Vast declines on the order of 3-to-1 negative on New York and up down volume about 2.5-to-1, 3-to-1 negative. So it's just looks like a distribution day to me. So we'll see what happens. I'll go over some of the longs and cover a few shorts before we go. ECYT, a significant price volume surge and breakout. Stock was up 58% or 217 on 12 million shares. I've never seen that before in the stock. It did have a big plunge back in December and then based out for the last couple months, only to break out again and run sharply. The next level of resistance is up around 7.5, 3/4. That's what my target is. LVLT, a neat little pattern here I wanted to show you, a nice little channel up. This flag here, and today broke out at a flag running 91 cents, or about 4%, a little less than 4%. Closed just a few cents off the high, and up, as I said, on 2.8 million shares. Let's see if there's a follow through here, but my target now 28 short term. IMOS, monster move on this stock. You can see that the beautiful base was broken here. We've been pointing this out since January when it was 6.5. It's continued to run, consolidate, spike, flag, and snap back with a vengeance, going from 1070 to nearly 17 just in the last week, 6-7 sessions. At this point, at the top of the channel, I would say look for some pullback consolidation, particularly if the market's vulnerable, but don't be in a rush to sell it if you have the stock. Wait for a definitive turn down and play with stops. Halozyme, a stock I've liked for months ever since it broke out here in October, pulled back and then formed a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave consolidation, broke out again and flagged for 5 weeks, and then stair-stepped its way higher, only to consolidate again over the last 6 weeks or so. Today, you can see it popped 28 cents, 2.4%, not a ton of movement, but across this key resistance line. At this point, I'm looking for a move to 13. LSI, moving nicely and trending nicely after the breakout here and the breakaway gap there. It's been trending in a rising channel. It popped on 34 million shares, up 7% or 60 cents. That's big volume, and it could may very well break out to the top of the channel and run some more, getting up to the 10, 10.5 zone. NXPI, which we put a swing trade out on today because of the clear breakout across that line, managed to back off and close underneath it. So a caution sign. It was up 79 cents or 3%, but 2.9 million traded, and it did reverse to close at the lower end of the range. So I need the price volume surge back up, and I need the stock to get back up through 26.65, or it could be in jeopardy. And I'll be frank with you, if I see it get under 24.5, you may want to think about stopping it, despite the fact that Goldman Sachs put it on their conviction buy list today. ELGX had a nice pop today and broke out across a triple top. If we step back and look at the long-term channel, it's been one of my favorites all year, on my top 20 for 2012, and it continues to move up, consolidate, and today broke out again. My target, 16.5 thereabout, short term. RVSN had a key move in the last 3 sessions, but today broke out across a little bit of a zone here, a resistance zone. It spiked up and closed at the high for the day, up $1.23 at 12.3%. Now 764,000 traded. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a thin stock, and it's the biggest volume traded since December. At this point, if we step back and look at a weekly chart, you'll see that my next target should be somewhere up around the early 2011 highs. And that would put it up around short term up at another point or so on 12.25. Solozyme, let's take a look at the other chart. Now, as you recall, I put a spike breakout here. It reversed quickly and dropped back down to test at 50. That line, the trend line, all of that held for 3 days and then snapped back with a vengeance the last week. Take it from under 12 to over 15. At this point, I'm looking for a move to 18. We'll see if we get a follow through. Also, breakout today on MGAM. Note this consolidation range for the last 5 weeks. Today, the pop, 70 cents or 6.7% on a million shares. That's the biggest volume since February when it popped here. Let's see if we can get a follow through. The next target, 12 3/4. Significant surge today on FSS, Federal Signal, which had been in this dig down channel. Finally broke out here, only to pull back from twice from the declining tops line, formed a big wedge, and started to move up earlier in the week, and today exploded for $1.20 or 26% on 1.6 million. Big volume for that stock, closed slightly above this resistance level, and I might add, I'm looking for another dollar to get us up around 6 3/4. AVII, this little low price stock I wanted to point out, broke out of a 5 or 6 week consolidation today with a pop of 16 cents. That was almost 14%, and the volume was 4.3 million. That's the biggest volume I've seen since October. With the resistance line right here, if it does get follow through, I would look for a test of somewhere up around $1.68.70 range. That's top of the channel and lateral price resistance. Look for a scalp. GWIRE, Guidewire, recent IPO, which moved up steadily and then pulled back, reversed here, started to move up, and yesterday spiked up to new highs. Today it gapped up and ran sharply higher to as high as 32.85 before backing off to 30.04. Still up 439 or 17%. And at this point, let's see if we get a follow through, but watch the 28.40 range. That gap should hold. If it doesn't hold, watch for a fill of the gap. But if it does hold and back and fill in here for a couple, 3 days, maybe we get higher levels. I'm looking for 35 or higher. NQ, this stock has basically broken through a key resistance level and completed a head and shoulders pattern. Notice it got up to it and pulled back sharply, but held at 50, and it came right back up and through. It's been going up literally for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. Wouldn't be in a rush to buy it, but if you own it, it looks higher. I look for 11 as a target. And less than alongside its threshold, I wanted to point out the movement. After the pop and breakout of this flag, it's been edging higher every day. The volume hasn't been tremendous, but if it does get across my $8 target, and we almost reached it today, reaching $7.50, not that far away, I would look for a move that gets it up towards 11.75.12. Let's go over to the box of shorts, and I'll show you a few of them before we go. American Public Education. Hang on a second, 1 second. I want to start off with Deckers. Deckers, for me, broke a major support level here and extended the down channel. What's followed since then with this big breakdown is simply a 5-day, week-long flag with terrible technicals. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, we get another leg down that could take us down there 60 or worse. Anyway, Deckers is one to be watched on the short side. Watson Pharmaceuticals in a distinct break of the uptrend here, topping pattern, and here's where it cracked right there. Snapped back in what we call a wedge formation over the last 6-7 weeks. Notice the top of the declining tops line was hit today, and it pulled back 96 cents on 960,000 shares. I'm going to be interested to see whether, if it does crack this line and takes out support near here, that's 57.5. This thing could plunge and fall away quickly, reaching ultimately down around 50.52. APEI, American Public Education. Head and shoulders top, breakdown, and bear flag. What else can one ask for if you want to short? That looks like a move is coming that'll take this down to about 33. ALK, Alaska Airlines, after breaking the uptrend with a sharp move to the downside, popped to resistance, backed off, and tried it again, and today backed off 78 cents. But the overall pattern with this break looks like a bear flag. Watch for this stock to take out 67.35 or so. If it does, I'm looking for 61. WebMed, bear pattern after bear pattern after bear pattern. Look at this. Gap, big gap, bear flag, another micro gap, and now another bear wedge. And you can't even get across the 21-day moving average. If it starts to break, look for a run down to the bottom of this channel around 20.5. And lastly is Chunghwa Telephone, CHT. Now, it already formed a big, massive top formation here. And you can see when this broke, it came down sharply and rallied back to it. And all it's done since then is form this little bearish looking pattern. Technicals are absolutely terrible at the bottom of the window. If this does roll over, look for a quick test of these lows down around 29.5. If that cracks, which I believe it will, we could see this partially or fully fill this gap and get down at the mid-20s at least. That's it for today, both long and short. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Good evening.